This could be the most popular sim racing product in the world because this is legitimately sim racing in a box for $400, and this is the final evolution of what MOZA's been doing for years in the sim racing space, to get this bundle out there for just $400. And you have to remember, Fanatec's version of this is essentially $700 at normal prices, and Thrustmaster's is $600. So MOZA are coming in at $400 with a 6Nm wheelbase, a rim, and pedals, metallic pedals as well. Now this is the wheelbase, it's called the R5 Pro, it's very sleek. This is the rim. Now it looks a little bit different to the ESX rim, it doesn't have that brushed aluminium. As you can see, it's got more of a powdered finish, and these are the pedals. These are not load cell pedals, these are new SR-P Lites. Now in this video I'm going to explain how all this works. I'm going to show you it in Forza Horizon, I'm going to show you it in iRacing, and I'm going to show you it in the hottest sim racing game in the world right now, which is Le Mans Ultimate. Because ultimately, I think a lot of people are going to be tempted to buy this, and I want to let you know all the pros and the cons I found. And some of the cons are a bit unusual. I'm not sure you're going to hear them anywhere else. So it's pretty pain-free to bolt onto my rig, although I only put 2 bolts into the wheelbase because it seemed to be like a little bit of an angle. But once I had it on, updated the firmware, I jumped straight into Forza and it worked. It was all device one. It's fantastic. I didn't need to do any funny business. And immediately I can tell you, this is a great combination for Forza. Like the fact Forza Horizon 6 is doing so well is great for racing, great for sim racing, because I think more people are going to be looking for bundles like this. Now the pedals, as I mentioned, are SR-P Lites. That means that they're not load cell pedals, and the pedals are very easy to depress, both the throttle and the brake. Now that means for sort of inverted commas real sim racing games, that could be a problem. And like I said, I'm going to show you in iRacing and then Ultimate later. But for a game like Forza, it's absolutely fine. Like when you have ABS on, I think the brakes like this are actually probably even better arguably than having really stiff load cells. That might be a little bit subjective, but Forza Horizon 6 ultimately has a more forgiving handling model, and the brakes, you know, people are playing this game primarily on controller. So you're going to be fine in Forza Horizon 6 on this wheelbase and these pedals. The rim also kind of suits itself to driving road cars that have circular or D-shaped wheels in them. The wheelbase being direct drive means you have a lot of responsiveness, you can catch oversteer. It's just a fun setup to play in Forza Horizon 6. And the crazy thing is that the Logitech G923, when it's not discounted, retails at $349. So for $50 more, you can get 6Nm of direct drive. And to be honest, I've struggled to recommend R5 bundles in the past from MOZA because the R3 has just been so insanely competitive, and then the next step up is the R9, where you can often bundle it with load cell pedals. But with this R5 Pro now existing at $399, I'm pretty comfortable recommending it, and the fact it just worked for me, the wheelbase didn't get hot, is a big plus. But if you do lots of sim racing, you're going to want to see what it's like in iRacing then leave. By the way, when it comes to buying sim racing equipment, always go to my website simracingdiscounts.com to make sure you get the best prices. And if you want to build your sim rig, build your equipment, go to simrigger.com. That's also my site where you can pick and choose equipment from loads of different brands. So I took the R5 Pro to iRacing, which is one of the most hardcore sims, and initially on the stock setup I struggled a little bit, and it's not because of the wheelbase, it's definitely not because of the rim. The rim itself, by the way, is very similar to the ESX rim that I've used previously, the one on the right hand side, the Xbox one, which has a brushed aluminium finish. The ES Lite, I believe, that's bundled with the R5 Pro, is slightly different finish, but it looks otherwise to be the same. The shifters feel exactly the same. It's always been a strength of MOZA's ecosystem that the bundled rim at the cheaper entry level is also very good. But the reason why I struggled on the stock setup, and this is from my perspective as a hardcore sim racer, I'm used to driving on very stiff load cells, hydraulics, maybe even active pedals, and stock, the brake on the SR-P Lite is just not that stiff. Now there's pros and cons to this. One of the pros, as I talked about in Forza Horizon, it's just kind of very easy to use. If you're gifting it to younger relatives, they're going to be able to use it absolutely fine. However, if you want to use it in sim racing, I think this is where MOZA's mod ecosystem comes into play. So there's already mods that they provide or sell for the SR-P Lite that make them stiffer, and then they have full-on brake performance kits as well. And I did exactly the same with my Thrustmaster T3PA Pro pedals back in the day on iRacing. When I was racing on iRacing without load cells, I basically put in stiffer springs and bits of rubber in there to make them really stiff. And I think the same thing is going to work here, but out of the box, don't be surprised if you've come from load cells that you're going to be like, oh, okay, hang on, I can't brake with the same modularity that I'm used to initially. However, I don't think this bundle is for people that have been on load cells before. That's the thing. I have to take myself out of that mindset. I think this bundle is a crazy value bundle for people who've been on the G923 or who've been on a controller and know that you're interested in racing and sim racing, and you want to get on a wheel, and you want it to be next generation, you want it to be quiet, you want the materials to be good, and you want it to last. And I think that's exactly who this bundle is aimed at. Now, one interesting thing is that I did mess around in the MOZA Pit House software, and I changed curves and everything, and interestingly, as my PC was updating, it actually reset MOZA Pit House, and that inverted my throttle. So just be aware that if you're driving and you feel like your throttle's inverted, you can just tick that in MOZA Pit House. Now, I also went to Le Mans Ultimate, which is really the ultimate test of especially a sim racing brake, because driving a hypercar with no ABS, and you're not going to be surprised to hear that, again, on the stock setup, I struggled compared to what I'm used to. But if you're coming from a controller, I think this is going to be part of the journey. Like spinning in a hypercar like this on the brake is going to make you appreciate just like how, you know, cutting edge these cars are, how like finicky they are, and how much there is to learn about sim racing. So again, I'm trying to put myself in that mindset. And if you're getting a G923 for $349, for $50 more to get this, it's kind of like night and day. I've just come back from China where I've seen sim racing brands, where I've seen all the electric cars, and it reminds me of that. Like some of the cars in China for cheaper prices have just like insane features, like TVs in them, everything's fully air conditioned, massage seats, all this kind of stuff for cheaper. And that reminds me a little bit of what MOZA's bringing here in the R5 bundle. But I want to be really honest with you about the brake. If you're watching other reviews of this and they say, oh, out of the box, this is going to be absolutely fine for hardcore sim racing, I don't think that's the case. And I think that's why MOZA are selling the brake performance kits and so forth. And if you want to see me add them in future videos, and you want to see me mod this and see, hang on, how can I match my lap times in Le Mans Ultimate or iRacing on this setup, let me know, and I'd be very happy to do it, because ultimately this could be the most popular sim racing product in the world. The wheelbase stayed nice and cool for me. It's quiet. You can use all of MOZA's rim on it, so there's a very easy upgrade path to using wheels like the FSR2 or using even like Lamborghini center wheels. The pedals, ultimately, if you want to go into load cells, you can just swap in a pair of CRP2s. That enables you to go all the way up to MOZA's active pedal. So the ecosystem is just unbelievably strong from MOZA. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this for $399? Is it the real game changer? Or actually, is there still something missing here, like PlayStation compatibility on the back? Because if rumours are to be believed, PlayStation compatibility could be coming to the MOZA ecosystem in the future. And if that's the case, then it's a great time to jump into MOZA. Now, MOZA have not paid me for this video. They did provide me the MOZA R5 Pro bundle for review, and I've compared it with other bundles that were also provided for me to review. I do work with MOZA on sponsored capacity on other content, but not this video right here. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully you understand a bit more about the pros and cons of the R5 Pro bundle. I do think it could become one of the most popular bundles in sim racing, and hopefully get a lot of people into sim racing, which would be absolutely fantastic. Make sure to catch me in the next video.